Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a video, and I'm not sure if it's Mandela, but I think it is. It's about refreezing meat. I was taught that you couldn't refreeze meat, that once it thawed out, if it was raw meat, you had to cook it before you refroze it. I was taught that meat that had freezer burn on it was not safe to eat, and that you had to throw it away. So I don't know. Anyway, and I also want to mention that Peter, Paul, and Mary song that came out in 1969 that I thought was, yes, it mentions the Mandela as a will of life, but I also thought it was about Mandela. And I thought he had died. And you can see part of it where it says, tell the jailer not to bother with his meal of bread and water today. And this came out in 1969. He is fasting till the killing's over. He's a martyr. He thinks he's a prophet. But he's a coward. He's just playing a game. He can't do it. He can't change it. It's been going on for 10,000 years. Tell the people they're safe now. Hunger stopped him. He lies still in his cell. Death has gagged his accusations. So, yes, it does mention the Mandela as a will of time, but to me, the song was also about Mandela because he had done that starvation thing in prison and had died. And the song came out in 1969, and I had thought he had died in 1969 or 1966. I had thought it was probably 1966 or 69. I can't remember now, but I thought, sometimes I think it was probably 66, but since the song came out in 69, it seems like maybe it was, but I don't know. Some people think it was the 70s, but I really think this song that came out was partially about him. And because his name was Mandela, and Mandela also meant the will of a life, and he had died, that it was also partially about him and the will of life, that they had worked it both in there. Anyway, so can you refreeze meat? And this says that you can. It says once food is thawed in the refrigerator, it is safe to refreeze it without cooking. Although there may be lots of, I was taught no. You had to cook it before you froze it again. It was not safe to eat. And I was taught that meat with frostbite was not safe to eat either. And if we went to the store and we saw meat and it had ice crystals on it, that it meant that it had not been shipped properly and it was not safe to eat. So, and this says that it's safe to refreeze it without cooking. So, and somewhere I saw where it mentioned the ice crystals. To determine if meat has been previously frozen, look for ice crystals. Frost the touch to see if it is still partially frozen. And that's how I could tell that it hadn't been shipped properly. Is it because it had the frostbite? And it has frostbite often in the store now, which it never used to. And so I was taught that wasn't safe to eat. And now they're saying that if the meat's been freezer burnt and it has the frostbite on it, that it's safe to eat. And I was taught never, never, never. That once it was freezer burnt, you had to throw it away and it wasn't safe to eat. And that once it thawed out, and I was taught that the grocery stores had to mark it previously frozen so that you knew you had to cook it right away or you had to cook it and then freeze it. But that's just what I was taught. And I don't know if this is a Mandela thing that has been forever and ever and it changed, or or if it's something that actually did change over time and it's not a Mandela thing. But I thought I would mention these and let me know what your thoughts are and what you were taught, and if you find out any more information, and what you think of that Peter, Paul, and Mary song that came out in 1969, I believe. And here's one where they did a rare performance. But yeah, the album came out in 1969. As far as I know, album 1969. So let me know if you think that song is about him. So anyway, please feel free to leave comments. And thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day. All right, bye-bye.